What's up, everybody? It's Storm here once again to bring you another gaming news roundup video. This week will be covering from October 17th to the 23rd, and we do have one little update, some news that came out that I will talk about, but not go much in depth with it because I personally don't really care for it, and it's minuscule to me. Once we get that out of the way, we'll get on to the big news. Without further ado, here we go. Our small little news that came out was the original voice actor of Helena Taylor had been receiving backlash after reports came out that she was lying about how much Platinum Games was being paid for Bayonetta 3. It turns out reports have said that her pay was she was going to get $4,000 for each session, which the report said they would be like for 4 to 5 sessions. So added that all together, she would have received from $15,000 to $20,000 for a session, instead of just flat out just $4,000. I don't know what to make of this because in my mind, I was just seeing it as a he said, she said, because neither put out any like evidence to support their claim and stuff. So I have no horse in this race, so this doesn't really affect me. Like, she tried to get people to boycott Bayonetta 3, which we all know that was definitely not gonna work, especially people have been waiting for this game for the longest, and the only thing that her little thing that she did to try to boycott this game, this probably made people went out to buy multiple copies of said game. So yeah, if anything, she just promoted the game even more instead of the exact opposite. Reports will probably come out probably like this week, any new update, which I will talk about if anything else come out. Alright, with that out of the way, now we can get on to our big news. One of the big news that came out, that PlayStation have revealed the pricing and what comes with their new basically their Elite controller, like how the Xbox controller is. And here we have the DualSense Edge controller right here. And the price for it is $200 in American dollars, including tax. And here's what the controller would come with. It would come with the DualSense Edge wireless controller, USB braided cable, 2 standard caps, 2 high dome caps, 2 low dome caps, 2 half dome back buttons, 2 lever back buttons, connector housing, and the carrying case. Pre-orders have went out, and this will be available globally on January 26th. So anybody who wants to get the controller, our pre-orders probably still be available. I'm not 100% sure. So if you want the controller, go for it. Alright, on to our next news. Konami came out with their showcase for their IPs, and one of them was a multiple projects of Silent Hill. And now we're going to go over all the announcements that came out from the Konami showcase of Silent Hill with their multiple projects. The first one they announced was Silent Hill 2 is getting a remake and is being made by the Bluebird team. They're the one who made what's that? I believe they did Medium, and it was something which I can't remember what it was, but it was like it originally came out on the Xbox and it came to PlayStation. And this team was heavily rumored to be making the Silent Hill, so some people are not really surprised that it actually is Bluebird Team that's making it. Uh, it will be released on PC via Steam and PlayStation 5. But it also said that PlayStation 5 will have a 12-month exclusive deal for Silent Hill Remake. So when it comes to console, you can only play on the PS5. So that's something. The next thing that they announced was Silent Hill Downfall, which we don't know much information about. We just know it being made by observation maker No Code alongside Anna Perna Interactive. So we know the devs are making it, but that's all the info we have on it. Next is Return to Silent Hill, which is a movie, and they're getting the director who did the 2006 Silent Hill movie to come back to make this new film. I do not know if this will be a continuation or a whole new thing in general, but with the title Return to Silent Hill, it kind of feels like it will be a sequel to some extent. And the next one we have is called Silent Hill game, Silent Hill Ascension. Basically, it's like one of those interactive, like a real time interactive series that, like what Netflix do sometimes. They will have like a show and stuff, but you could decide how will the show play out and stuff if you pick it. So that's pretty cool. Expect to release in 2023. And the last thing they revealed to close out the show was a new Silent Hill game called Silent Hill F, which the story will take place in 1960s Japan and be written by the Japanese visual novel specialist Ryukishi 07. So, yeah, for all the fans of Silent Hill, I'm glad you guys finally got news that Silent Hill is finally coming out. Like, because this been heavily rumored for like probably like two years. Like every single time we see like some news report saying that a Silent Hill is coming and stuff, but it's like it never, like the news never went anywhere. But now we see that one is officially coming out. So kudos to those fans. Like horror games is making a huge comeback in this generation. Alright, on to the next news. The next news that came out this week was Capcom have came out with their own showcase that evolved with Resident Evil. Yes, Konami have dropped a showcase that came out the next day after Konami Silent Hill, which Capcom showcase focused on Resident Evil 8 DLC, the Gold Edition that evolved with Ethan Winter's daughter story DLC, and Resident Evil 4 Remake. So we got some gameplay from Resident Evil 4 Remake and some couple of new screenshots and stuff. Like all screenshots will be posted at the end of the video, so look out for that. Overall, it was a pretty good showcase. Granted, I'm not really a huge person on Resident Evil in general and stuff, so this was definitely more fans and stuff. So but I did saw the gameplay of Resident Evil 4 Remake. It looked pretty good and stuff. So yeah, 2023 is gonna be a great year for games. This just adds up to the list of games for 2023. All right. on to the next one is Square Enix shadow dropped a trailer for Final Fantasy 16 called Ambition. And I seen this trailer like 20 times. It was a really good trailer that focused on the different kingdoms that got play a role in the game. They didn't show off how we get to these areas. Most likely we'll probably get that in the next big reveal that they have for 16. But they show us the world and a little bit story and stuff. And the game looked, it looked really good. Like, every time we see it, it just looked better and better. And reports came out from the director and from the dev team. They're basically like at the finish line right now. They said the team is shifting to bug fixing, optimization, and all that. Basically, the final point of development, I believe, and stuff. I did do a video on all the stuff about the Final Fantasy 16 trailer that came out, so take a look at that video. You want to see my breakdown and analysis, I will put a link to that video in the description. Alright. As we keep going, our next big news was G4 TV is actually shutting down, folks. They're packing it up. It's donezo. Yeah, I will put a link in the description about G4 TV shutting down. But the chairman CEO of Comcast, David Scott, had put out a statement talking about the shutting down G4 TV. And this is how it reads. Team, as you know, G4 was reintroduced last year to tap into the popularity of gaming. We invested to create the new G4 as an online and TV destination for fans to be entertained, be inspired, and connect with gaming content. Over the past several months, we worked hard to generate that interest in G4, but viewership is low and the network has not achieved sustainable financial results. This is certainly not what we hoped for, and as a result, we have made the very difficult decision to discontinue G4's operations, effective immediately. I know this is disappointing news, and I'm disappointed too. I want to thank you and everyone on the G4 team for their hard work and commitment to the network. Our human resource team is reaching out to you to provide you with support, discuss other opportunities that may be available, and answer any questions you may have. Thank you again for all your hard work for G4. Here is my problem with the CEO statement. I saw on Twitter some of the people that worked at G4 did not notice the whole thing was being shut down until a tweet was made by somebody named Wario who does post gaming news on Twitter. He tweeted that G4 TV was shutting down, and some of the people did not know it was shutting down until his tweet came out. And this is very crazy because this came after a week or two about people being laid off from G4. So the fact that they're shutting it completely down is kind of crazy, but not surprising, because I believe you guys at this point know that some controversy, some disagreement stuff happened at G4 with some of the gaming community fan base, and some people once basically blaming a certain person in particular for this downfall of G4. you could make that argument. What this person has said could hurt the image of G4, and so that's not very surprising. But I do feel bad for some people that actually do care about this stuff. Not saying none of them did not care for their job. It just some was more, I should say, more professional and experienced in this in the job they had for a G4. It's unfortunate for those losing their job and for them to find out they were losing his job in this way. But it's sad to hear. With that being said, on to our next news. This might be our final one. Oh no. We have reports that Callisto Protocol have finally went gold. Yes, Callisto Protocol had went gold. It is officially coming out December 2nd of this year. Because there was a rumor going around that it was going to get delayed to February 12th. But the person that reported that it was going to get delayed, some countries will write their date in a different way how it is in the U.S. So when the person saw Callisto Protocol with the 2/12 date, they immediately thought it was going to get delayed to February 12th of next year, which wasn't the case. It would just reverse. So the official date is still December 2nd. The developers have came out and said it's still coming out December 2nd. So for all those who excited to play Callisto Protocol, have fun with it. And our last bit of news is from God of War Ragnarok. Yes, God of War Ragnarok previews have been dropping this week for the past week, and the review embargo goes up on Metacritic for November 3rd, I believe. Yeah, I believe it's November 3rd, which is all good now that marketing for God of War should start picking up very soon, since the game is almost upon us, folks. Like, I am looking forward to that game. I will be doing a whole playthrough of it, so keep a lookout for that. And from the previews, they came out with the resolution, basically the performance and resolution modes that God of War Ragnarok will have day one. For favoring resolution, you could get a 4K 30 FPS locked. Prioritize performance, you get a 4K 60 locked with a dynamic 4K resolution, I believe. Next is favor resolution, high frame rate on. You could get a 4K 40 FPS locked, but it does require a HDMI 2.1 cord and a compatible TV or monitor. Next is, and the last one is favor performance, high frame rate on. And this one is targeting 120 FPS with HDMI 2.1 required. When the game drops, I will... excuse me, it is pretty late over here. I will be trying out the 4K 120 Hz to see how it is. And if I don't like it all that well, I will just go to the 60 FPS. But the fact they managed to get God of War Ragnarok to be running on 120 FPS, and like, shoot, That's very impressive. I'm assuming the resolution is most likely going to be 1080p and stuff. So I just gotta wait and see how that looks. And I do have some screenshots that was taken from the PS5 version of God Will Ragnarok. I believe I said I will be posting them at the end. So yeah, that's all the news that came out this week. Last week, it was a pretty slow news week, but a lot of cool stuff that was shown from the Konami showcase, which they call it the Silent Hill Transmission, and Konami showcase for Resident Evil, uh, 8 DLC, and Resident Evil 4 remake. Oh, and I did saw that they said, I believe they were asked if they will remake other Resident Evil games. The developers have come out and said they will not be remaking Code Veronica, Veronica, I think it was called. So anybody that's a fan of that game, of the Resident Evil series, I'm sorry, it's not getting a remake. All right, that's all I have for you guys. I'm going to end this off by showing out the screenshots that were shown for God of War Ragnarok, Resident Evil 4 Remake, and Silent Hill 2. And I'll catch you guys on to the next video. You guys have a good night. Peace.